Okay, so let's talk about the book of Revelation. It can feel like just this crazy puzzle, right? All these headlines and prophecies all mixed up. But what if we just zoomed out for a second? Today, we're going to cut through all that noise and really try to get a handle on the big picture. What's the strategy behind this whole cosmic conflict? What does it all mean for the endgame? Let's dive in. So, this brings up a huge question, one that honestly trips a lot of us up. If evil knows it's going to lose, I mean, if Satan and the forces of darkness know the final score, they know they absolutely cannot win, then why keep fighting? Why bother? Why keep this whole rebellion going when you know defeat is a sure thing? It seems, well, completely illogical, doesn't it? But as it turns out, there's a very, very specific strategy at play. And here's the thing. That strategy, it's not actually about winning. It's all about stalling. It's a losing game, and he knows it from the start. But the goal is to just drag it out for as long as humanly and, inhumanly possible. Look, you have to understand the end of this story. It's already written. I mean, after the cross, after the resurrection of Jesus, the victory was sealed. Done deal. The whole plan became irreversible. And Satan knows this. He gets it. He can't kill God. He can't rewind the tape and undo what's been done. The outcome is absolutely fixed. But, and this right here is the key to his entire operation, he can try to delay it. He can try to just kick that can down the road. He can't stop the final day from coming. No way. But he thinks he can postpone it. So how's he going to do that? Well, he targets the one thing God put in place to bring it all to a close. And this is where we see the one vulnerability, or at least what Satan thinks is a vulnerability he can exploit. See, God in his infinite wisdom chose to partner with us, with humanity, to get his plan done. The end of the story is literally linked to the completion of the Great Commission, spreading the good news to all the nations. So Satan's logic? It's actually devastatingly simple. If I can just distract the church, if I can corrupt it, neutralize it, then I can delay my own final judgment. But here's the good news. That delay is only temporary. The plan will succeed, and it all leads to a future that's a complete, total restoration of what God wanted from the very beginning. This is humanity's ultimate destiny. We're talking about the new Eden. And when you compare where we are to where we're going, the contrast it's just staggering. I mean, look at our world now. It's defined by all the fallout from rebellion, right? Divisions, sin, death, spiritual darkness. But the future that's promised in Revelation? It's a complete 180, a total reversal of all of that. All those dividing lines are just gone. Humanity becomes one single unified family, glorified, perfected, and living in a direct partnership with God himself, in his presence, forever. Okay, I know what you might be thinking. This all sounds perfect, maybe a little too perfect. And it brings up a really logical question. If we still have free will, and free will is what led to the first rebellion, what's to stop the whole thing from happening all over again? I mean, it's a completely fair question, right? If we get restored to this perfect world, but we can still choose, couldn't somebody just kick off another rebellion? Start another cycle of sin and death? Well, the answer comes down to the difference between two really, really important words. Okay, think about it like this. Could one person, let's just say, hypothetically, win the Nobel Peace Prize, an Academy Award for Best Actor, and be named the NFL's most valuable player, all in the same year? I mean, technically, is it possible? I guess there's no law of physics that says it can't happen. But is it plausible? Is that ever going to happen? No way. Absolutely not. And that right there is the punchline, which comes from the source for this whole discussion, the late Dr. Michael Heiser. He says possible and plausible are two different things. The idea of another rebellion happening in the new Eden, it's so completely, utterly implausible that it's, for all practical purposes, impossible. Why? Because we'll be glorified. We will have gone through the entire process of sanctification. In that state, the very thought of rebelling would just be an absurdity. And Scripture itself gives us the ultimate guarantee on this. The very nature of the New Jerusalem, the very nature of the people in it, perfected, in full communion with God. It just makes another fall impossible. The system itself is designed so that rebellion has no soil to grow in. As it says, nothing unclean will ever enter it. Okay, so we've talked about the big cosmic strategy and the incredible ultimate destiny, but let's bring it back down to Earth. How does all this stuff affect how we should be reading Revelation right now? In our time, with the chaos we see in our news feeds every single day. And this is the big temptation, isn't it? We see something on the news, some geopolitical event, some new technology, some global crisis, and we immediately try to map it directly onto a prophecy in Revelation. But you guys, doing that leads to a really, really flawed way of reading the Bible. Yeah, there's actually a name for this approach. It's sometimes called newspaper exegesis. And here's the fundamental problem with it. It makes this huge, unspoken assumption that the book's prophecies could only be fulfilled right here, right now, in our time with our specific technology and our political landscape. And in doing that, it completely ignores the fact that the book had to mean something to the people it was first written to way back when. And this really gets to the heart of how we should approach this. We have to remember this key phrase. Revelation was written for us, but it was not written to us. It was written to a very specific audience back in the first century, people who were living under Roman tyranny. Understanding their world is the absolute non-negotiable first step to understanding what the book's message is for any generation, including ours. So that leaves us with a final, and I think a much more powerful question. If Revelation isn't just some secret roadmap for predicting current events, then what is its real message for us today? Well, maybe it's a message of profound hope in the face of tyranny. Maybe it's a call for us to be faithful when it feels like the world is falling apart. And maybe it's just a powerful, profound reminder that no matter how long the delay seems, God's incredible plan for a new Eden is absolutely 100% irreversible.